My name is RG, and welcome back to the What's Worth Watching channel, a channel for TV and film lovers who want real, agenda-free views on the latest releases. And in today's video, I'm going to be taking a look at the delightful new entry into the Wallace Gromit series, Most Fowl, which has been getting a lot of buzz since it premiered late last year. And I'm going to be discussing why the film is currently rocking a perfect 100% critic rating on Rotten Tomatoes. So, Wallace and Gromit Most Fowl is the sixth film in the series, with Ben Whitehead starring in the lead role as Wallace, replacing Peter Sallis, who sadly died in 2017. This latest entry into the series sees the return of the villainous penguin Feathers McGraw, who, after being apprehended by Wallace and Gromit and sent to prison, seeks revenge on the duo by hacking Wallace's robot garden gnomes and stealing the famous blue diamond from the City Museum, whilst framing Wallace and Gromit in the process. Now, if you grew up in the UK in the 90s or noughties, then you've likely seen Wallace and Gromit before, as it's a classic British series. Despite this, I was able to go into the film essentially as a newcomer to the series, as I've not watched anything Wallace and Gromit related for the best part of 2 decades, meaning I've forgotten practically everything about the series. The Most Fowl made for a great reintroduction to the series, which I was able to enjoy a lot more than I expected. As a series, Wallace and Gromit has been going for over 30 years now, meaning the people who watched it as children are now adults, so you've got to be able to appeal to the original viewers who have now grown up, as well as the kids of today. At its core, it's a family film with enough charm and wit for people of all ages. One of the biggest strengths of the film was undoubtedly its sense of humour. It's definitely silly, which might not work for everyone, but I did find it very funny. Granted, not piss your pants funny, but enough good quality gags to have me chuckling consistently. I in particular appreciated all of the gnome puns. For me, they never got old. Honestly, even just the idea of a criminal penguin doing prison time locked up in a zoo was hilarious to me. Like, I love that they did that. It's also just so unabashedly northern, which I really appreciated. I got a real kick out of all the northern terminology and the sense of humour, which made the film just naturally feel even funnier. And having comedian Peter Kay voicing Chief Inspector Albert McIntosh was inspired casting. He's a hugely popular British comic, and he fit the role perfectly. The titular duo of Wallace and Gromit have such a strange yet sweet bond. It's a far more similar relationship to what you'd expect from a husband and wife, rather than a dog and their owner, but it's incredibly sweet and charming. Also, I guess it kinda goes without saying, but their outlook on the world is completely different. There's a clear dichotomy between Wallace and Gromit's views on technology, with Gromit being more old-fashioned and hesitant, whilst Wallace is the complete opposite. He's a genius inventor who's allowed his technology to take over his life. He's gotten to a place where he allows technology to do everything for him. He doesn't even dress himself, outsources virtually everything. His obsession with his gadgets and inventions is hugely relevant to today's world, where everything is becoming about technology, AI, and people are glued to the phones and other gadgets, myself included. Obviously, the main purpose of the film is to entertain, but the writers have a clear message about where society is going, and shows that finding a healthy balance between natural human moments and technology is important. Obviously, technology can benefit us, but we don't want to lose ourselves, and the garden gnomes are a brilliant metaphor for what can happen when our use of technology goes wrong. It goes too far. These little gnomes were surprisingly terrifying, like genuine nightmare fuel. I can only imagine what little kids would have felt watching them. Watching Most Fowl reminded me of the brilliance of stop motion animation. It's marvellous how they're able to do it so well, and the animators deserve a ton of credit for this. Their painstaking work and attention to detail was definitely felt on the screen. Although, considering how CGI obsessed the industry has become over the years, you'd expect stop motion animation to have become a thing of the past. But seeing that Wallace and Gromit has been able to stick to its roots is delightful, and just another example of why an old-fashioned approach to filmmaking can absolutely still work and produce art that can be appreciated by the masses. I mean, all it takes is a quick look at the viewing figures to see how beloved Wallace and Gromit remains, with it becoming the second most watched UK broadcast since 2022. It was viewed by 9.38 million BBC One viewers on Christmas Day alone, with the viewing figures reaching over 16 million when you take into account catch-up viewers. These types of numbers are hugely impressive, and when you take into account that the film was nominated for Best Animated Film at the Oscars, as well as receiving Golden Globes and BAFTA nominations, it's clear that Vengeance Most Fowl has been a huge success for the BBC. With the film receiving a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomatoes, it would be understandable if some people believed that this meant the film was faultless. But that isn't quite how it works. A 100% score just means that every critic gave it a positive rating, rather than every critic believing that the film is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Personally, as much as I like the film, I don't think it's perfect, and I actually preferred Transformers 1, Inside Out 2, and The Wild Robot from last year's animation releases, although it's not far off. My biggest issue is that I did have to tear my brain off at times for the film to work. It's a family film, but there are times when you need to use kid logic. Like, the whole idea of Wallace creating these gnomes and making an evil setting is clearly ridiculous, because why on earth would he even have that as an option? It makes no sense, but you've kinda gotta just go with it, and it certainly didn't ruin my enjoyment of the film. Overall, I was really impressed with Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Fowl. It's a delightfully funny and charming flick that flies by, which I guess shouldn't be a surprise considering the runtime is only 79 minutes. Realistically, this isn't the type of film that I would have gone to the cinemas to see, so the fact that I could watch it for free on BBC iPlayer is brilliant. If you have access to BBC iPlayer, or you're an international viewer and have Netflix, then I would certainly recommend giving the film a watch. So it gets a thumbs up from me. Nick Park, the film's writer and director, has suggested that there will be more to come from the Wallace and Gromit series, and considering how well he did with Vengeance Most Fowl, I'm excited to see where he's able to take the series in the future. So, what did you think of Wallace and Gromit Vengeance Most Fowl? And what was your favourite animated movie that came out last year? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more. And I'll see you next time for another video. Goodbye.